Well said. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Romney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, Mr. Nathan, I applaud you for your willingness to step away from the Bob Post group to help us in the governmental level. For those that don't know, Bob Post is one of the most, if not the most successful private equity and investment firms in our country. So thank you for that. I want to associate myself with the comments made by, in particular, Senator Hagerty with regards to our strategic interests, particularly as they relate to China. I sometimes feel that we in Congress and in the Senate live in fantasy land, which is we think we can do everything for everybody. We think we can solve the problems of health, of food, of energy. The list goes on and on, not just here, but all over the world. And frankly, there's not enough money for that. As we think about all the projects you might do that would deal with the issues you just described, our food challenges, energy challenges, creating more jobs for people, alleviating poverty. My goodness, we can't alleviate poverty here. How in the world are we going to alleviate poverty all over the entire world? We're not. It would be massively beyond our capacity. Senator Menendez, for instance, spoke a moment ago about we need to try and alleviate poverty in Latin America so there won't be as many people coming here. But our wages are far higher than everywhere else in Latin America. We can't raise the economy of Latin America to a level that people don't want to come here. And so spending money around the world to alleviate things that, yeah, we wish would go away, but we're never going to get there, would only make sense, in my view, if it has a strategic significance for us, if it's something that deals with the interests of the United States of America and our national security. And I'm pleased that you indicated, yeah, that's exactly what you feel, that you have a dual mission. You consider two things. It's not easy to consider two things at once, but you recognize that a strategic interest is essential for us to make an investment by the DFC. How do you evaluate a strategic interest? What, in your view, what is the strategic interest of the United States of America?
Well, advancing our foreign policy interests, I think, includes greater stability, openness, particular countries where we're trying to strengthen democracy and our allies. We take advantage of the national security strategy and all the sub-strategies for individual countries to understand in the operating environment where we're looking at deals, what the issues are and how our deals relate. And then in a more global sense, it's what Senator Hagerty referred to, the global competition with China and other potential authoritarian governments. So that is securing for us diverse supply chains and material that we need. These are all parts of the considerations.
Yeah, I agree with you on, particularly with regards to when you came down to saying, yeah, with regards to China in particular, which is saying, how do we make sure that we have supply chain of the materials we need? They don't establish monopolies that keep us from getting able to receive the key elements that we need for our economy and so forth. That makes all the sense in the world to me. How do you assess those strategic choices? I mean, do you work with other agencies? Is it something that you deal with on your own? How do you decide, for instance, is it going to be a port we're going to invest in, or is it going to be a factory that makes widgets?
Yeah. So we take input, obviously, from all of our board agencies. So that's State, USAID, Commerce, and Treasury. And then beyond that, throughout the rest of the interagency, including the White House and the National Security Council. We have 600 people who are focused on doing and supporting and accounting for the deals. We need to take advantage of posts on the ground, our embassies, and colleagues throughout the interagency in order to do that.
Yeah, I would just close by saying that I believe our strategic interests and national security revolve around, if you will, China, Russia, authoritarian states versus ourselves, and that it is entirely consistent with your mission, as I understand it, to invest in those things that promote our national interest, that keep China and other authoritarian states from impeding our capacity to trade with the world, to lead the world, and to have a prosperous life here in the United States. And would encourage us and encourage the DFC effort not to say just how can we alleviate poverty around the world, and because that's a task monumentally beyond our financial capacity, to instead say which things are specifically in the interest, the national security interest of the United States of America, particularly as it relates to China, because that's our foreign policy and national security challenge is China, Russia, the authoritarian states. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Romney. Senator Kane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Nathan, I join